All right, guys, so been looking at the bees pretty closely today, and it looks like they could possibly be getting ready to swarm. I did a previous video on how to catch a honeybee swarm, and if you want to check that out, I'll leave it in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. But now that I look at them, they might not be. Here they are. I can't tell whether they're just coming out for the morning and kind of buzzing around, or if they're thinking about swarming. I'm just gonna keep an eye on them. We'll check back in with them in a little bit and see how they're doing. Ideally, you catch this before it happens and you're able to split your hive every year. But in our case, we don't monitor our bees really closely. We love to have pollinators on the property, and that's one of the main reasons we keep them. We don't keep them for honey, at least yet. The other best case scenario is that these guys take off and they split and they go swarm somewhere and we're able to catch them. That's what that other video is about. I'll link in the description below, you can check that out. But I was able to successfully catch one about 2 years ago, and because it landed on the back fence line here, it landed on one of these Asian honeysuckles, and I was able to just shake it off into a nook. That little yellow box there is called a nook. So like I said, I'll keep my eye on them throughout the day and see how this progresses. But typically this is how it starts, real small, and then they'll go up into the air because the queen takes off, and then you'll really know. You'll be able to look over here and see bees just everywhere. What did you see at the pond?
No, not a pond.
A snake at the pond?
Uh-huh.
What'd you do to it? What'd you? Huh?
It's it.
Did you do something with it?
Mm-hmm.
What? Did you kill it?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Uh-huh. Really running.
Well, let me show you what we've been up to over here with the raised beds and the Garden of Tears. Our neighbor, who works at a little gardening place down the road from us, gave us their extra veggie starts for the cold weather starts. So this is red cabbage, kale, onions, some kind of lettuce, mizuna, and then more red cabbage. So that's cool because our onion starts didn't do well, so we're gonna plant those. But here are potatoes. We have a whole bed of potatoes that we planted, and they're starting to come up nice. Little greens everywhere, starting to peek through the soil. That'll be nice to have a ton of tomatoes, because that whole bed is filled with them. And then we have cabbage, some other things, the starts that we did down here, and then Swiss chard, kale in this bed, and then we got carrots, radishes, cilantro, arugula, more lettuces down there, and the radishes are going to be ready to harvest really soon. You can see the top of the bulb of the radish there on that one too. So we'll harvest all these soon. So that's what we've been up to in the Garden of Tears. We're going to be building more of these beds. One thing we did was we started doing these cattle panel trellises. So all we did was secure them at the bottoms here, and then we're going to grow we're going to grow cucumbers and any trellising plant we're going to put on the sides here. So we'll do that probably for the middle of every bed. For the nook is pretty much all done. Put a little bench here. Eventually we'll have 4 pallets, 2 here and then 2 further out, to make kind of like a front porch a little bit. But this is what she looks like. Turned out nice. Love the color. This is a window that I made into a door, and then we had this on the basement door down in our basement, and made a little lock mechanism. So this is the inside. See if we can get some better lighting here. So everything's painted white. We did everything white, and then we'll do the floor a darker color but we're going to paint the floor as well. But that's the inside of it. There's a little table I built so you can sit with a stool right here, work on the computer and be looking out, read a book, whatever. Because of the quarantine, this whole nook came along way faster than we expected it to, because we had some extra time on our hands, and so we made do with what we had, and we got this thing done. So that's a huge bump in the task list. What are y'all doing?
We're mulching some of our plants.
Oh yeah, we have some great mulch. It's been stored up there on the top half of the property for, I don't know, probably 2 years now.
It's been at least 2 years, I think. It's been composting down.
So we're collecting it into buckets, bringing it over, and kind of dressing the top of the soil with it here.
Giving them a little
Give them
blanket.
a good covering and then some extra nutrients, because this is still,
That's still composting.
it's really broken down. So the plants will love that. Good job, Story.
You helping Mama?
Story found a spiky worm. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Let me see. Yeah, it's like a centipede. Centipede, maybe. Good job. So I got this little soil meter. Interesting, cheap little tool. It seems to be working, I guess. But you can switch it. It's on moist, or how moist the soil is right now. You can switch it to light, which is kind of, you know, irrelevant. And then pH. So you can switch it over. So we'll see how moist the soil is here on the top, and obviously it just got watered, so it's extremely wet. And then we'll switch it to pH, and the pH will change.
You go really hard, Story. You can just go like this and with your cup for this. Oh, never mind. Yeah, Ray could need to
Go over there with Mom, and she'll show you where to do.
I don't think we should mess with the carrots too much. You can do these plants. So remember, don't put it on top of the leaves. Put it beside them and then spread it around. Some right here.
One great thing about these beds is that we're all standing up right now, and we're not breaking our backs. And even if you had to get down, you can kind of get down on your knees, and then you're at like perfect level where you can just work right on your knees. We're gonna top dress a bunch of these beds with some of that compost that we're using from the hill. So I'm gonna take the skid steer and hook up the other bucket. I got the pincher on it right now. I'm gonna hook up my other bucket and grab a bucket full of compost and bring it down here. So if you notice, we're in the greenhouse and we have a raised bed in the greenhouse. So we did some thinking and talking, me and my wife, and we decided that we're gonna go ahead and put raised beds in the greenhouse. A couple reasons for that decision, but I think one of the biggest ones is that we can do these hügelkultur beds and they produce such great soil over time that we're just kind of, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer. And we also want to be able to grow in the winter, and we want to be able to trellis some of our plants. So the trusses from the greenhouse up top here make for great trellising stabilization, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a bunch of beds that get stacked this way across the inside of the greenhouse, and that's how we're going to treat it. So the other thing is that in the winter, obviously I took down the venting for the wood stove because we don't need it right now, but in the winter we have the double barrel wood stove, and we're going to put one here, and then we're going to have one on the other end down there, so that we can heat this thing and even ventilate some of the heat across these raised beds that'll be in the center of the greenhouse. So for us, this was the best way to grow inside of here, and so this is what we're gonna do. We're excited about how this is gonna turn out, and honestly we're really excited about being able to grow through the winter in here with the whole setup with the wood stoves and all of that. So Fernie's out.
She's
Oh! No!
Birdie.
What are you doing, Fern?
Birdie. Oh!
Oh, she's...
Get her, Fern, get her. Come up, Walker. Look at Fern. Oh, hold on, guys.
Oh, jeez. She's going ballistic. She tried to bulldoze Walker over like he was a puppy dog or something. Crazy pig. All right, let me show you what we got going on over here at Fernie's house. So, whoa, her tarp ripped. Wonder if she ripped it.
Where?
Anyway, so obviously we moved her over here on this half of the property. But what I did was I stretched the fencing down here, and then I made it come back around. So now whenever she wants water, or she wants to, if it's a hot day, she can come down here and she lays in this stream right here. So it's kind of a perfect situation for her. She roots around in the water, but she can drink it whenever she wants to. She can come and have some fresh water, or as fresh as city water can be, I guess.
That's what she likes. She thinks we have water.
So she's been cooped up for the past couple days. We let her out today. That's why she's acting rather crazy. All right, we got some nice, luscious compost up there. Ooh, look at that. Look, there's even some worms in there. So, we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna top dress this whole area, all these beds, we're gonna top dress in with this compost. Should be a nice covering for them, and then some extra nutrients for them as well. So let's get to work here. All right, guys, that's it. We're done here for the day. We are gonna pack up shop, do a little cleaning up, get our tools put away, and we're awaiting some rain tomorrow. It hadn't rained out here in quite a while, so it'll be nice to have this top dressing on for it to rain on and our plants to get nice and watered. But we are done for the day. Almost forgot to mention, our bees did not swarm today. They decided to stay home, but I suspect that they're gonna be swarming any day now. This is around about the time it gets hot enough for them to dip out of the hive. So we're gonna keep an eye on those, and hopefully when they swarm, we'll be able to do a video on me catching them again this year, if they're in a position to be caught. One year they actually swarmed. They were on this side of the property over here where there used to not be a pond over here, and they swarmed up in this here. I'll show you. It's a big bur oak tree. This one with the deer stand in it. They swarmed up in the top of that tree. Here, now let me zoom out and show you how high it is. So my buddy climbed that like way up here near this area in that bur oak tree, and he tried to get him. And he's pretty fearless so far as climbing. He got up there, and I had a little bee vacuum, and he started to vacuum them up, and then they started to swarm on him, and he got stung, I don't know, probably 20 some times as he was making his way climbing back down the tree. So we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that, but props to my buddy who did do that back in the day. So anyway, the bees, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on them. Actually, I'm gonna do a video where we go into the hive, do a little inspection, and place another hive body on there, another box on top to grow that hive that's already there. So we'll be doing that soon, next couple weeks here. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can stay connected to our journey. Hit the notification bell next to it, select all so you can get our notifications when we release a video. And yeah, we'll see y'all in the next video.